I mean, they could probably just... Is that an Aatrox?
It's your boy, Aatrox, back again.
It's a really nightmare lane in mid, though, because of the close proximity to the turrets, because of how everything conducts itself in mid lane. Aatrox has less wiggle room available. Not quite sure what they're hoping to accomplish here in the mid, but maybe Roach can do something surprising. But realistically, Gen.G should be losing every lane.
Phone of Legends.
The Lee Sin is going to be able to do whatever he wants for the most part. Maybe Peanut will try to offset this with the level 2 gank early on, but if everything's left to how it's actually set, SANDBOX, I think, has gotten the type of lanes that they want, and the type of early into mid transitions that they're looking for should be present with this type of a team comp. Lucian, Morgana, Lissandra, Lee Sin, and Jace on the top side. Lots of AD, though, present inside of this team composition. Yeah. But Black Cleavers will be present, most likely.
Probably for 2 of them, unless Ghost wants to try out Def's build from yesterday to crit Lucian. The Essence Reaver first.
And on the flip side now, for Gen.G, Kennen, J4, Aatrox, Ashe, and Braum down there in the bottom lane. This team really needs to find a way to make it to mid-game. That's all I'm going to say. And even in mid-game, though, they're going to have the work cut out for them. So we'll see what they can end up doing. I feel like a lot of pressure is on Peanut.
Certainly is, and it wouldn't be the first time for the side of Gen.G, but let's hop into game number 3 right now and see how it goes down. Well, here we go. Already, the Lightning Rush taken by Cube. Really wanted to get up to the top side, but we talked about the early game of the Lee Sin and the ability for his effective ganks. I really like what he does in team fights, too. Lots of threats that want to hop into that back line. Kennen, J4, and Aatrox. You can just kick one of them away. See that a lot, actually, over time with Lee Sin against Kennen, specifically. Just Maelstrom is in, and you're like, nope. You're getting out of here. You're not doing damage. So we'll see if On Fleek can do it. He's definitely one of our great Lee Sin players of the LCK.
Very skirmishy Lee Sin runes here picked up for On Fleek. Definitely wants to get down and dirty. And taking a look at all the runes across the board. Airy versus Airy up in the top lane. Comet for Aatrox there. In mid. Gonna try to maybe fight back against the Lissandra. Dove is playing this very bizarre. Level 1. Not quite sure where his Qs were.
Saving mana for the late game, obviously.
Peanut, I talked about a level 2 gank.
Hey, it worked in game 1. Could definitely work in game 2. Summit, actually quite far up the lane.
Can Summit read it? That's the big question. Oh,
no,
man.
He stepped too far forward. The red buff comes in, slows him down. Gonna just flash into that one as well. The damage should be there. Does a flip, but it doesn't matter. First blood goes to Peanut.
You can see the pings going down. The ward wasn't able to spot the mouth or the entrance to the Baron pit. And so Peanut able to get away with that kind of a gank. And right now, Roach under a lot of pressure in mid lane. But all that pressure relief in top is definitely helpful, as now Jace is down a flash and teleport against the Kennen.
Yeah.
Super early on.
And the way he got into this bush is through that Baron pit you were talking about, so just totally undetected Summit, entirely taken by surprise.
And Summit flashes in a pretty peculiar manner. I feel like had he flashed down at least a little, at least another turret shot would have been forced to come out. Oh man, and he even has the biscuits in top lane, so he had Lane Kingdom in mind. And that's going to be pretty hard to accomplish right now. But meanwhile, down in bottom lane, Joker and Ghost doing their damnedest to try to get this first plate here at 3.5 minutes.
Yeah, it wouldn't be the first time for them. They did it before with the Caitlyn Morgana. This time it's Lucian Morgana. Also, it does have that pressure in the lane, so like the idea with what they're doing, just high priority pressure bottom lanes for Ghost and Joker so far. And Peanut's here again. He just went and farmed and, you know, came back as Summit is nearly going to face check. That is not going to knock him up, though, as he's going to hop back and get stunned again, trying to actually do a nice amount of trade damage there to Juve on the backside of that one.
That was a really close call. If Summit went down right there and Juve had the lane coming into him, that would have been it. That would have been all that she wrote. Not sure what On Fleek's doing. Doesn't actually stop the recall, and now it's going to get spotted out, I believe, by the minions. Perhaps not. Didn't see a ping go down onto him.
Yeah.
Summit misses the shock blast as Peanut. You can see they're really trying to put Summit in the ground here. Peanut making his way back up into top lane.
But there is that Lee Sin as Peanut immediately going to engage here. On Fleek says, no, I'm just going to run away and even put down a ward for my top laner to help him out a bit. And I'm really curious to see the follow-up path here from Peanut. Does he go Raptors in the top? That would be hilarious. Doesn't look like the timing will work out.
So right now, nothing happening here on the top half of the map anymore, as Aatrox down 14 CS right now in the middle lane. And he's also getting chip damage on his turret every time in the matchup. It only gets worse.
Yeah.
Every single time Lissandra recalls. This matchup never gets better for Aatrox.
Yeah, and it's well worth noting, excuse me, that this was a last pick for Gen G. They knew it was Lissandra in the mid lane, and they're like, yes, we would like to take this deal. We would love to have Aatrox in the mid lane up against Lissandra. They say, okay, we'll have this hard lane, and hopefully Aatrox can just dunk in the back line later on in the game, but he's going to have a really hard early game before he gets anywhere near that mid game.
Right. So here, fantastic CS lead created in mid and bottom, and Summit doing a reasonably good job at keeping up in the top lane.
Peanut's back again.
He's back again. Dove gonna spot him out though. Oh, no, actually he's not.
Well, sees him now on the ward.
Oh, as, Peanut.
Oh. He sees him in the corner of his eye. He's going to be able to get over with the flag and drag. Even On Fleek was making his way up towards the top side.
Peanut had no flash, so I think that had Summit just gone on him right away with the claw and the flash from Dove, I think they could have just brought him down. Pretty sure.
Yeah, definitely would have been close.
Yeah,
for sure.
The area that they could have covered would have been very high. Roach makes his way into the brush, ends up spotting On Fleek, and we're potentially going to have a 3v3.
Lightning Maelstrom comes in, and the Q goes wide from On Fleek. Where's that damage? And now Peanut and Roach are coming in from behind. Trying to get on top of them, but no flash here. But the stun comes in from Juve and locks up that second kill for Gen G.
And this is a dream scenario right now for Gen G. Summit falling down 2 kills in the manner in which they're occurring. You definitely can't be happy about, oh man.
And now they're trying to force a fight, which should turn into an obvious 2-on-3. This is a massive mistake from the side of SANDBOX as Peanut. I suppose they weren't expecting him to wait around for that long, but they're just going to give away another kill.
And Ghost and Joker are probably sitting there down in bottom lane. They're like, guys, guys, come on.
Guys.
It's match point.
Fellas.
Guys. Coach subbed into subs, game 2. We can't lose this one. And Summit, you can see he's coming in here. He finds Peanut, hits him with the shock blast, gets clipped by Kennen, and then On Fleek whips the Q. And had he hit that, Kennen would flash backwards, most likely over the wall. And then Roach and Peanut continuing forward. Lissandra, a little bit Mia throughout all of this. And then right here, they're not respecting that Peanut can still be around. They don't even have deep vision either, and you have to wonder, why would Roach continuously be attacking this ward in front of a Lissandra? So just not really reading the situation.
I think
they were talking about his cooldowns there. Yeah, flag in 3 seconds, and kind of just waited for the timing, and the bait was super real, as both Dove and On Fleek seemed clueless that that was a possibility.
And now, despite everything that has happened in this game thus far, Summit finds himself with the CS advantage. It still has that.
Down 2 kills, yeah.
Still a gold lead here for SANDBOX as well.
Yeah, a lot of that gold is in the lanes, right? I mean, you already mentioned the top lane, which is kind of the funky one, but mid and bot, this is somewhat to be expected. Sometimes the Ass doesn't lose this hard, but Sandro versus Aatrox, yep. Checkbox, and once again in the bottom lane, it is going the way of SANDBOX, so the lanes that SANDBOX drafted are doing pretty well.
Peanut down here now trying to offset the pressure of Ghost and Joker, and they've been doing a fantastic job here in bottom lane. 20 CS lead present for that, actually about 17.
Culling comes in, and look at the damage that does to Life. Just standing there has to block for Ruler, but it's all one big debate. Can Peanut get on top of it? The binding is going to land, and the TP comes in, but the damage is there. And the follow-up TP from Cuvée means that no follow-up here from Summit will come in.
And now this means that On Fleek trying to respond with a Rift Herald capture. But this cannot feel good if you're SANDBOX. Roach coming over, they're on point today with assessing what SANDBOX want to be doing. Oh, man.
Yeah.
You know, we said in the pick ban that Peanut, he needed to come up big inside of this game, and so far 100% kill participation.
Casual sidestep there. Roach playing with a little bit of swagger in this game, as he was able to help deny that Rift Herald. And Jarvan super fast at this point, has 4 takedowns, probably has that Relentless Hunter, so he's able to get around the map super fast. Is the Cinder Hulk Jarvan, so he's not going to have a ton of damage, but in the top side, he's got Aatrox and Kennen to help out with the damage here. Now, Joker able to be the first support up towards the Rift Herald. You can see SANDBOX really trying to win this objective with the 2 solo lanes that should be dominating. So now 4-on-4. Lucian a little bit ahead there, so now they're going to go in and engage immediate ult onto Peanut, but he's pretty tanky here, and a double knockup comes in. The arrow onto Ghost as well. Nice stopwatch.
Ruler.
Down goes Jace, down goes Lucian, and that's going to be 2 key kills already going to Gen G.
And the fireworks are flying right now on the map, and Gen G, they find themselves with 6 kills, but only about a 1.4k gold advantage as they look to pick up the Rift Herald right now. On Fleek, getting hunted down by Life and Roach.
That's not going to work, buddy.
Yeah, he got hunted
Scanners.
by Life.
They're good item.
I know how that feels, you know.
Oh, here we go again. TP, double TP
it never
coming
ends.
in. Okay, he gets the smite down, but he is going to die and not pick that one up. So we are going to have to see if SANDBOX can stop them. It doesn't look like that'll be possible as they have to back away. So Peanut gives his life in the end for that Rift Herald, but seems worth it as plates are still up.
Plates are still up, and Cuvée manages to pick it up in the top lane. Will he just try to summon it and crash it into the top plates? Doesn't look like he seems keen on doing that. You take a look at the SANDBOX really trying to force the agenda here with the Rift Herald. And everything was just looking fantastic for Gen G during this fight. Ruler still had yet to arrive. Cuvée coming in the backline. Joker not really knowing what to do. Ends up landing a binding there onto Cuvée. And in the end, everything ends up being quite good for Gen G. Fly looking extremely enthusiastic.
Yeah, they're, you know, those guys in the booth, at least, pretty happy that Gen Z are dominating here. 30 seconds, and they're looking for a kill on top of it. The stun, concussive blows does come in. Life gonna tank that one up. Easy kill under the turret, as on Fleek, the name of his game is just to go for objectives when the opposite side of the map is getting crushed. As now Summit's 0-4 in this game.
And that is going to be at least 4 plates in top. And the final plate in turret were not captured in time for Gen G. Nonetheless, though, they do find themselves with a little bit over a 2,000 gold lead here. Ruler with priority in the mid lane. And honestly, you know what this feels like right now, Valdez, is feels like those games where you know that your team comp is better and that you have the better teammates, but things just keep going wrong and you can never stabilize through the turbulence.
The cleanse is the damage there, though. Roach not able to get that flash down is going to be hilariously just kicked away. So Roach trying his best to collapse onto that one after the arrow, but it does not pay off.
So Gen G going to find themselves posturing right now, and with all of these advantages, a lot of it is being offset by the CS differential across all of the lanes.
Yeah, it's pretty nice. You can see that the plates actually do go in favor of SANDBOX, and that's partially because the Lissandra is winning that mid lane, or was winning that mid lane before the laning phase kind of just disappeared. That was close. But she also got one plate in the mid lane, so she's able to get on top of that Ludens pretty quick.
And so right now, Gen G, they find themselves with a very chaotic, advantageous opening. But the real question is going to be, what can they get from this? Because if the game state devolves into a lull state, and everyone's just allowed to sort of do their thing, well, that's where I'm sure a lot of people probably think that SANDBOX should have the upper hand. And so if SANDBOX can just lock the gold advantage to be a permanent 2,500 gold, it's not that sizable the longer that the game goes.
We'll have to wait and see how the Drakes do treat them. So far, that mountain pretty good. And the ocean comes up next here when Gen G do get control. So not the greatest Drake at all, especially when you have Kennen and an Aatrox on your team. So it's not even like that's going to help out in the mana regen department. But Gen G probably going to reluctantly take that one and try to accelerate into a better Drake second afterwards. On Fleek, I have to say, in this game has been very underwhelming. We saw a bunch of his Qs missing. He kicked Life out of the way. I'm not sure if that was to stop a block or something, but it was only Life who collided with nobody. Trying to do a little bit of a caster curse here as Fleek is able to get down and sneak into the brush. Peanut trying to save him here with the Cataclysm, but it's not going to work. As down he will go. The Frozen Thrall going to do a little bit of extra damage, and finally, Fleek and the gang able to get something going.
And it comes in on a really key target, slowing down the Aatrox, picking themselves up a turret down here in bottom lane. As things are starting to not go so well for Gen G. Gold advantage is diminished now to 1.3k. And Ghost and Joker shoving in mid. Ends up flipping. Yeah, flips him.
Just barely. But Blade is finished here for Ruler, so it's not like the damage is going to matter all too much. Just target practice here for Joker, who is having a blast on his own.
And here, we take a look at everything that just unfolded. It was a pretty easy setup. Joker and on Fleek Dove able to finalize that kill right at the very end there. And as you mentioned, Peanut tried to come down to help, wasn't able to do too much. It looks like Stone Plate will be the item of choice for Peanut on the Jarvan.
It's pretty good if you're going all in and you're the main tanky initiator for your team, because if SANDBOX were to turn onto a guy that doesn't have Stoneplate, doesn't have much outside of a Cinderhulk, you could get blown up pretty quickly, but the Stoneplate denies that in a big way. Nice amount of damage already onto life here. Cat on plate getting range. It looks like Summon and Ghost going to try to do that. Summon has to flash away as Peanut's going in for the engage. Does get ultimated there, but here's the slicing Maelstrom into the backline. Summon going to get extremely low, but stays alive. Life as well, extremely low here, but is going to not go down, and nobody dies in that crazy back and forth fight.
And that's a really bizarre turn of events, as it looks like that should have been a bloody fight unfolding. As now Summit with teleport available, he's going to get right back into this fight.
Yeah, not wasting any time. He's Jace too. Immediately going to chop down that turret as Gen G in a really awkward spot here over by the Wolves.
They're all locked up inside of the Wolf camp right now. This probably does mean that SANDBOX will be able to run down and capture the Ocean Drake.
Whoa. Joker can only hit champions. Rich Scuttler is, he's too fleet, fast on speed. I don't even know what kind of combination that was. But, yeah, there you go. Ocean is going to go the way of SANDBOX into a second Ocean.
Well, taking a look again at this fight. Exhaust comes out right at the very beginning. Summit being forced to retreat. Cuvee came over the wall with the slicing Maelstrom, but not able to get the final kill. Summit came back over the wall. Everyone was trying to play tag with Roach. And then everyone was just forced to retreat and back off.
So it does feel like SANDBOX is coming back into this game. You were mentioning that gold lead that Gen T did have, the 2.5, but ganking the bottom side into a turret, and then a fight that doesn't necessarily go either way, but does allow SANDBOX to open up the map a little bit and gain them that Ocean Drake. Means that this game is very, very close, in fact. Only about 800 gold around, maybe 1,000. As these guys are getting their feet back underneath them. Stopwatch available for Dove the next time they fight. Still looking for the Black Cleaver here for Lucian. Looks like he might be backing up and grabbing that right now. So, you're mentioning the mid-game here for SANDBOX. Bunch of items now completed for their team. Wouldn't be surprised if they look for some fights here.
1K roughly is all that separates both of the teams right now. You can see that the Yumu is very close to being completed for Summit. Not sure if they're looking, well, it does look like they might want to get a little dirty here in mid lane.
What? What's your take? What's your analysis on the play?
Shooting that arrow of relegation. That's where it's going.
He's saving that one for the next game. They may have to play up against some challenger teams.
Oh, man.
I mean, the only thing I can possibly think of is that he's trying to predict that someone's waiting right over the lip. And if he hits it, they wouldn't even engage after that, though. That was just a straight-up weird arrow, guys. I don't know what to tell you.
I'm still a little bit perplexed. I'm trying to run the scenarios in my head for what that could have been intended for.
Well,
yeah, it's a science experiment.
Everybody on the map is like, well, we got to back now. I don't know how to handle this one. As nobody really going for the big objectives just yet. Baron did just spawn about 2-3 minutes ago. And SANDBOX does have the Mountain and a nice amount of Baron damage with Lucian, Jace. But you can see the vision that's already picked up here for Gen G. Really nice and spread out around that area. And SANDBOX haven't really done their due diligence. And they don't feel ahead enough to really push as a team into this Baron area and take back that vision just yet.
Ghost just pushing in mid. We have entered into the lull state. Are you excited?
Yeah, I'm lulling. It's
you're lulling it.
Yeah, I'm lulling.
What do you get whenever you go to lull Donald's? What?
You mean Luller King?
Luller King.
I don't go to that, lower level
Kentucky
fast
Fried
food.
lull. No. All right, you're not lulling it.
I thought you would say Luller Fried Chicken, but it kind of threw me off,
All right. I
As
apologize.
we got a potential pick here, but Joker having a little bit of a side thing with Peanut on the right side of the map, and now Ghost going to find this tanky Jarvan. Now he's got another target here, Life. In a bit of trouble. It's going to land that the binding here onto Peanut with the kick, but it's going to land that ultimate with the Morgana. He's forced the flash away. Kive not able to get any flanks, so they do get the jungler extremely low, but it doesn't look like SANDBOX are going to make a move on the objective just yet.
Without 2 Mountain Drakes, it is still a little bit risky. 2 Mountain Drakes does open up a little bit more possibilities that 1 does not quite offer. Roach comes over the wall. He's going to go right back over it. Not even interested in trying to take that control ward as Onfleek looks to capitalize on the second Ocean Drake of the game.
I feel like this is a game where that might actually be not so bad, especially when it's really close and we might have a bunch of Baron fights that do happen, and that regen could actually come into effect here for SANDBOX. A third Ocean Drake, though. We all know that SANDBOX here and Onfleek were looking to roll a different one after taking that, but not quite the case. Lady Luck is not on their side tonight.
Back to being a sad day is what it is. Which means that we're due for some Infernals later for us to get helicopter.
Ooh, nice black shield there. Stop the arrow from having any effect onto Dove.
Lee Sin not wanting to go in. I love these game states. Valdez.
Yeah.
These make me extremely excited.
It's a good one. Everybody's trying to avoid death, especially Roach with his death stance.
It's only a 1k gold advantage right now. Oh, but Dove doesn't have his E.
Oh boy, Joker in a lot of trouble here. Does he have the stopwatch? The answer's gonna be no, but the damage comes out from Onfleek. Able to get the kick down. Cube coming from the right side, able to flash on in. Is gonna stun 2 members down here, but Summit is gonna live just barely on the backside. But Ruler and Cube, the duo, attempting to trade it back there, is at least going to save their own lives.
What a close call right at the very end, and for what looked like it was going to start off for a fantastic... Oh, man!
He caught him! Onfleek gets 1, and can he get another? It looks like he will. The Q comes down. What a read from Onfleek. Sees him and catches him both.
And now that should be the Baron going the way of SANDBOX as all the members. They're running to it right now. Peanut is up on Fleek. How many seconds on his smite? If it's even going to matter, Peanut barreling down there does not have his EQ available right now, though. Ward over the wall.
Nor his flash. They're waiting for Onfleek's smite, and they want to zone him out here.
Peanut running way too far.
Smite comes back too, so they're able to secure it for all 5 members of the side of SANDBOX. What a play to get them ahead in this game.
And the whole game just turned on its head. SANDBOX are the ones now in the driver's seat with the gold advantage. And now turrets are going to start falling, so that gold advantage is going to swing even more.
It's definitely a huge set of plays. We're going to take a look at the initial replay of this fight.
And we take a look at what is happening here as Joker ends up getting caught up very early on. But then the Frozen Thralls from Lissandra, there's something that Genji has to respect a lot in this fight. Watch Summit right at the end, knocking away Roach. with that hammer.
Yeah.
Thralls don't end up doing anything in the fight, but then on Fleek.
Oh, they're on a ward here. Or? No, they're not. Just a straight up read. We are going to cut to the action, though, as Dove is going to get caught. Does have that stopwatch on Fleek thinking about it, and there you go. Yeah, Ghost is just
he's pushing.
Solo pushing in the bottom lane. He's like,
doing stuff.
I don't care how long you guys want to throw. I'm just going to try to win this game.
And Summit now going to be shoving in mid. Can they stop any of the recalls? That is an extremely low Jarvan. Yeah, I don't know what Peanut's doing. It's a massive wave pushing into bottom. Culling comes out. Cube.
Oh, boy. Well, now he's 1v2.
I don't know what Cube was just doing.
Mana.
What?
And there's the turret.
That's
just
the turret.
1v2. And now they're pulling him out of position.
Roach?
Damage in the middle lane.
They're funneling in like flies. Like, I don't even know what to make of this.
Certainly, it feels like Gen G have lost all control of this game.
Yeah.
They do get the pick onto the Lissandra, but after that, seems like, well, they're having trouble with just one guy.
And so now, take a look at how this fight all unfolded. You can see Ghost are shoving in bottom, but Gen G, they were waiting to try to collapse onto Dub. Lissandra's a pretty cool champion, though, with that Aftershock. And the ultimate with Zanya's means that she does take quite a long time to go down. You know my favorite thing is when she has stopwatch and Zanya's and ultimate.
And Aftershock.
Oh, don't threaten me with a good time.
She can tank for days by herself.
Yes. Demand a lot of attention.
And do a bit of damage. And get the Frozen Thralls out there. Meanwhile, it's a lot of fun. It's a good champion. By the way, SANDBOX were allowed to take the Jace and the Lissandra really late in the pick ban. As push continues, should be the last wave that does come in with the Baron, and it doesn't really look like SANDBOX are going to overstay their welcome. Scared about that Wombo combo engage, so they will take what they've got, which is just that one inhibitor turret down in the main base, and look to make a move the next time around.
A little bit surprised they don't pick up the Ocean immediately at 30 minutes, or to guarantee that the Elder would spawn, as they would then have 4 Elemental Drakes for when they would end up getting the Elder Dragon. As it is extremely difficult in this kind of a game to imagine that they would ever be in a position where Gen G should be able to get that Elder.
Yeah, you can see that on Fleek is going to be on janitor duty, just cleaning up the mess that is Ocean Drake. The third one going to go the way of SANDBOX, so they do have some pretty insane regen out of combat here, and they do get that Elder spawning, which is much more important, as you did mention. So feeling pretty good for SANDBOX's chances here. They have made it to this late game, and they are ahead about 4,000 gold, so definitely good feels so far here for SANDBOX.
Ghost now moving over, looking for maybe vision to clear. Jace trying to escort waves in the bottom. We're back into a lull state, but SANDBOX, they're just going to be content on waiting for the Baron to come up in a minute. And then once that does come up, Gen G will finally be forced to fight. And look at the level disparity between some of the champions. 2 levels inside of the jungle, 2 levels inside of the ADC role. Mid lane is even. Life on the side of Gen G is the only one with an advantage.
Yeah. Support doing well here for Gen G. Somehow, some way. As, yeah, I mean, Ghost definitely becoming a menace here on that Lucian. The Ashe, though, Ruler has been able to get a bunch of items here. Has the Double Seal, Blade of the Rune King, also Infinity Edge coming through. So, Ruler in a fight, we are going to have to take a look, especially if they all group up near Ruler. And if they can get that wombo combo going and create space for the Ashe, because the crits could come flying in straight from that Ashe.
And Baron is now up and available, just fixing the lanes and clearing out the vision on the left-hand side is SANDBOX. As what Gen G really do need is a miracle engage from Cuvée if they're going to try to be able to win this fight, as they are very lacking in damage everywhere else.
Take a look at some of the warding here from Gen G. They only have that one in the mid lane, really, to get behind them. So that's about it. If we were looking for teleport flanks, as now it's time for the A-Red. The push in the bottom lane is pretty nice here for the side of SANDBOX.
Cuvée taking so much damage.
Yeah, now they're going for the engage. They're kind of getting desperate on Fleek, though, looking for that assassination. Nearly going to kill Cuvée, and on Fleek's got a
Cuvée has TP.
Okay, he's going to try to go back and make it back into this one. Summit is going to go down to the stopwatch and eventually goes down. On Fleek, not doing much, but the culling nearly able to take out Peanut, but not quite, as the heal does come through. That ward I was talking about. Here we go. Nice binding, though, to stop him, and it's going to be anticlimactic as he goes down. Not much that he can do, as he could not dodge the binding in that case. And now we're just going full frenzy mode as Ghost is all alone on the left.
Oh, but Gen G turned it around.
And there you have it. We're going to take a look at the inhibitor. Might go the way of SANDBOX, but two crucial kills go the way of Gen G.
And so, the inhibitor is going to go down. And so now can On Fleek manage to keep them around long enough for Summit and Dove to come up?
Oh, hello. As,
Summit has TP.
Peanut's pretty low here.
Oh, Summit's going to try to end.
Oh, Summit's going in. This isn't the first time we've seen this either. It's a Jace, too.
Oh, look at that damage.
He does so much damage to turrets. It's only going to be up to Cuvée. And
the Baron.
And the Baron. Oh, man. Everything's going to go the way of SANDBOX now as Dove comes in. I can't believe it. As the arrow comes through, can they end it is the question.
Oh,
Ruler's going to get
down.
ducked. And there you go. GG. As On Fleek comes in, steals the Baron, Summit gets the back door, and what an end once again. It goes the way of SANDBOX.
How unfortunate of a situation. And Cuvée just has to be
back doors too in recent times. I'm not sure exactly what it is, but especially from top laners that can split push really well, like Nico and Jace, if you just get an opportunity like that at Baron, you might as well just go for it.
Backdoors
every time.
Been happening more often lately. And something else I want to talk about is Summit's Jace. There's very few Jaces in the world maybe that when you look at them in their 0-4, you're still intimidated by the things that they can do inside of a game. And he's definitely one of the players that can still give you that feeling when he's on that champion. And right at the very end there, the decisive call, whoever made it on the side of SANDBOX to teleport in the Jace. Curious if he had the elixir to deal amplified damage to turrets. Not something that we see all that often, but in critical moments like that.
I mean, if you're calling for that, it's probably a good buy, even as you're teleporting. You would like to just burn that into your brain. Even for you guys out there that want to attempt something like this.
Whenever you're going for a do-or-die backdoor off a teleport, always buy the elixir. Also, sell items that don't do any damage or attack speed and buy something like a Stinger. Because if it's in a moment where you just have to get the Nexus, boots don't help you anymore.
True. You're basically a turret.
Yeah.
Maybe you flash over the Nexus for like an extra auto, but an extra 2-3 autos in the, or it might even be more than 2-3 autos. Could be like 4 or 5 or even 6, depending on how many things you can sell to get attack speed and attack damage. It's actually a really good point, and could absolutely make the difference in some of these insane games that we've been getting ourselves into in the LCK. So, wonder if we're going to get a look at the replay here. The highlights from this. Let's take a look.
This was On Fleek's Baron steal against Peanut. He did have the leg up on him. No one's killing him.
Ruler attacked the Baron 3 times, and then the extra damage comes in, and it's in range.
600 HP smite.
Yeah.
Oh, man. That was really bizarre coordination. And then right at the end, they just wanted, for good measure, they wanted to take Ruler down.
Yeah. After Dove gets that sick flash, I mean, that's what you gotta do.
You can see the moment that he actually got the Baron.
He just said, I ate it.
Yeah.
Or I got it.
Please, please. We got it, we got it.
The amount of nices that come in are insane. You can see the happiness in all of their voices, and straight on the face there of On Fleek as with that Baron helps out with the push, and they're able to get the victory. What an end.
Yeah, it was an end. And what a recovery, though, in game number 3 as well. SANDBOX, they were holding on, and so many things were just not going their way, but they were keeping up, and then recovered and salvaged the game state, and you have to feel good about that. But also, if you're Gen G, you have to feel good as well from out-muscling SANDBOX in 2 separate occasions to almost get in and to the winning moment. And then just not even able to pull it all the way through.
Yeah. Take a look at some of the highlights here from earlier on. Things were, well, mistakes were made, you could say, as they didn't expect Peanut to be waiting in the flank. And multiple kills did go the way of Gen G in the play. 2 in total.
Taking a look at the highlights down here in bottom lane, and I actually feel like Ghost and Joker did such a good job, at least in the CS deficit, as well as getting a plate. Peanut had probably one of the best early game performances he's ever had all season. And it was in the game with the matchups that he needed to happen and come in.
Yeah. If Gen G win this game, probably Peanut gets the MVP. I'd be putting in my vote into that slot for sure. As he gets the engage, he gets the disengage, double knockup, gets all the early ganks.
Right here, yeah, this was the close call with Summit on the chase. Ghost able to do enormous amounts of work there with the culling. Cube not the most exciting slice of Maelstrom. I'm waiting for the Leroy Jenkins.
Well, we're going to skip over that one. Watch this. 1, 2, 3, 4 attacks from Ruler onto the Baron. Gets it in range, and then the smite fight goes the way of Lee Sin.
684 looked like it was the final Baron amount. Summit just jumps right on top of Ken and says, hey, you don't have slicing Maelstrom. Arrow comes in from Ruler, but it's just not going to matter. As that's the game. Going over to SANDBOX, we look at the damage.
Look at that graph, too.
Yeah.
Had a moment there at the end where it's like, oh, what? Yeah.
All right, we still got
SANDBOX wins, yeah.
Ruler did quite a lot of damage there, but honestly, I mean, if you're Gen G, you have to feel good about almost getting the game to a winning point because the draft was extremely brutal for them.
Yeah.
Peanut had so much pressure on him to make things go right early on, and he did do that, but it doesn't change the fact that why are you last picking Atrox into a Lissandra?
Yeah.
And why are the lanes the way that they are? But it's going to be On Fleek. Getting MVP, 700 MVP points for him.
I like the kill participation at 15, 0%.
This was nice.
Yeah, there was a ward, actually. Saw him all the way. And unfortunately, it died after the cannon died, so it's good that we got that replay once again of On Fleek getting in there, getting the kill, gets the steal.
And we watch it one more time. Everyone just wanted to keep hitting the Barons before killing the Lee Sin.
Yeah, that's a frustrating one. I mean, we saw Ruler with head in hands, right? He knew that that could have been played a bit better. So it's unfortunate, you know, just the little things at times can make all the difference. Maybe if they didn't have Baron, Kennen and Ash are able to come back and stop the push, and maybe you go and things can do much better for them. So, and they can get their Baron push on and maybe even capture Elder. That could have gone on. So, either way, guys, I'm going to hand it over to Ji-sun for the translation right now.
Thank you very much, guys. We're gonna be having a solo MVP interview with Unflick from SANDBOX Gaming. Unflick, you're sweating a lot. It was a long game. How do you feel about this win? Well, this was the last game of the spring split. We really wanted this win, so I'm really happy that we were able to pull that off. Game was not that easy, right? Were you confident that you're going to win the game today? Well, when we lost a team fight near the Baron, well, we thought that it could be a very dangerous game and if Genji takes the Baron, but Summit said, well, look at the bottom minion wave, I can just TP and finish the game. So he told me to just stop the Baron. I think we were doing really well to pull that plan off in the reality. Game 1, your performance on Kha'Zix was impressive. It's not a mainstream pick though.
Kha'Zix,
it's a very good champion up against Z4, so that's my thoughts. So if the top tier jungle champions are banned out, I think Kha'Zix is a very viable pick. And we had the voice mic check revealed. He said they're caught out. When you spotted Kog'Maw in the brush, you said, there you are. Well, I was just wanted to go for the counter jungling, but actually I found the Kog'Maw there. Got you there. So, I mean, I was just trying to get some counter jungler, but I was lucky to find out Kog'Maw in the middle of the jungle. So what's the reason for the Kha'Zix? Well, besides LeBlanc, there was no tricky champion for Kha'Zix to play against, so that's why we ended up locking in Kha'Zix as a jungle. Game 2, a lot of rookie players subbed in. Sub players were coming in, and Game 3, now Summit that you were back in, so what kind of feedback went back and forth? I mean, we were preparing that entry as a team, but it didn't go well. Well, we did win game as the starting members in the Game 1, so we just wanted to go back to the first game and get that final win of the final set. Were you expecting to play back in Game 3? Were you feeling any pressure? Well, I had the mindset that if I do my role properly, we're gonna win, so there was no big pressure. In Game 3, you played Conqueror Lee Sin. Why was that? Conqueror is a very hot rune, to be honest. It's a very mainstream right now. Especially when we have an extended team fight, it's really good. And when you're facing up against J4, actually, there are a lot of longer team fights, so I think Conqueror is really good. Do you agree that Conqueror is a bit nerfed? Well, I mean, it was too broken back in the days, but now I think it's balanced.
네, 알겠습니다. 워낙 좋았기 때문에 밸런스는 지금은 만든다고 생각을 하시고요. 2세트의 캐넨이 정말
Game 2, actually Cuba's cannon was really mind-breaking. It was too powerful. But you didn't ban down cannon. What did Summit say about that? Well, basically Summit, he is really confident on his chase no matter what kind of champions he's fighting up against. And Genji, actually their key players are in the bot lane. So we didn't have much thoughts on top lane cannon. Game 3 cannon, as you guys planned, didn't have a lot of impressive moments. But Game 3 was a bit of a hard game for SANDBOX. Game was going back and forth a lot, and Genji was definitely in the lead in the early game. So when we are in behind, even though we outperform, well, if Genji doesn't make any mistakes, we had nothing to do. But we just kept focusing on the plays that we had to do, and we were able to turn the game around. The backdoor was a very decisive call. Whose call was that? It was Summit. So as a team, we were just thinking like, should we just go for a backdoor or should we just stop their Baron? And Summit said, I'll just go for the backdoor. So I think we were able to like accomplish the both goals, you know, stop their Baron and also make the backdoor happen. So we're confident that you were going to get the Baron still. Well, that was a situation where the laners could not push the jungler out. So I was like, oh please, please.
기도가 잘
And I think my prayer worked out.
플리 선수 요즘에 보이스가 정말 화제가 되면서 옴부장님 뭐 이런 별명도
And you know, there was the episode of the mic check.
아재 개그에 대해서 어떻게
You were the god of the dad jokes.
이게 그냥 고스트 선수의 영향이 아닌가.
I mean, it's because of the Ghost.
고스트 선수가
Because Ghost
시초이자
is the one who started it.
항상
He always makes some lame dad jokes.
약간 전염이 된 것 같습니다.
모두가 지금 다
I got infected by him actually.
앞으로도 그래도 기대해 보도록 하겠습니다. 너무 재밌더라고요.
I mean, I really enjoyed the dad jokes, so we'll be looking forward to it more. And playoff is coming soon. You're going to be facing up against Hamon Gaming. How are you preparing for that?
저희가 2라운드 시작하면서 좀
Well, in the starting of the second round, I think we are going a little bit shaky and falling apart a little bit. But even though we're starting from the very bottom of the playoffs, I think we can pull off great results. I hope to see you guys at the finals. Of course.
알겠습니다. 자, 오늘 정규 스플릿 마지막 대회
congratulations once again on that last victory of the last game of the split. So any message for your fans? Well, this was the last match of the regular split, so thank you for coming out to support us. And I just want to make it up to my fans with better performance. So keep supporting us. Thank you.
많은 응원 감사드립니다. 저희는 또 플레이오프에서 뵙겠습니다.
See you at playoff on Flick, and thank you very much for this interview.
네, 플릭 선수와 함께했습니다.
This will be the end of the interview with on Flick, and I'm gonna pass it back to our casters. Thank you.
Thank you, Ji-Sung, for that wonderful translation. Always good to hear from the big guy on Fleek, who did have a very big impression in that game. 3 did a very nice job there, so shout out to him. Got the double MVP, in fact, so great first season coming into the LCK overall, I'd say, for him, and a lot of the SANDBOX guys really impressing us coming in, and that's really the story. The challenger teams shaking things up in the top of the line here in Korea, kind of falling down. And on that note, Gen G, one of the teams who went to Worlds, take a loss, and now they do actually have a chance to go down to relegation. And you guys can join me on the right side to look at those chances. If Afrika does go down 0-2, then there will not be a tiebreaker if KT also lose. If KT win 2-0, then there will be a tiebreaker with Gen G. Not sure who wins that one in terms of the head-to-head. So lots to consider. And again, this is the relegation race. Afrika, Gen G, and KT Rolster. And we will be jumping into SKT versus Afrika next. So we will get another piece of the puzzle to decide who's going to be going into relegation.
I'm looking forward to the next match, Brendan, as we must have Infernal Drakes galore waiting for us. You know that's how it is. As Afrika, they're going to have their work cut out for them against SK Telecom, who many are saying look like maybe they're the new top dogs inside the LCK, as Griffin has been faltering a little bit lately.
Yeah, it's definitely a big point. SKT are looking more solid than ever right now, whereas Griffin are definitely faltering. So, guys, we did have a 3-game series, which means there will be less of a break, probably around 25-30 minutes. So we'll be back for SKT versus Afrika in just a moment. We'll join you guys in about 30 minutes.